Just stay on to social media and you'll find out.
More like to wake up. Yes. I always say thank God it's Friday when it's Friday, because in my mind I'm going to sleep.
Yes.
I never catch more than 4 hours of sleep. It doesn't matter what I do. All right. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy New Week. Yes, I'm going to say that, and it will pain you like you will send it to me. I hope you had a great weekend. If you're an Arsenal fan, holla at your girl, man. Good weekend. I wanted to save all those messages that were saying Manchester City will wipe us now. I wanted to call their names out one by one to come and see their report card, how they failed. Enemies of progress. But it was a good weekend for Arsenal fans. Simone Biles also made history again. She's now the most decorated gymnast. So good one there. In women's soccer league, I've never seen, sorry, women's Super League. Tega is Super League. Manchester City, 2 red cards, but they still managed to come away with a draw. I've not seen such violence in my life. But
Was it the UFC match we were watching at that point in time?
At some point I was confused because they seem to be fighting every single second of the day.
Yeah.
But it was a good one for the Super League. Women's football is just growing in leaps and bounds. So great one there. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Lewis Hamilton and George Russell in Qatar Open. And Max Verstappen winning the World Championships. We're also going to talk about the Arsenal game. Then we'll have to decipher what's happening with Napoli. Is it that people swore for him after, swore for them after that tweet? People have to release them because your boy is still there. So we'll talk about all of those in the locker room this morning. But before we do that, Omatseye, tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room?
To be part of the locker room this morning will be for you to
Still fed on the table.
yeah.
So you can tell that it was not Messi and Neymar that was their problem. But let's see how Luis Enrique can work his magic. I think just 2 points behind the leader, so nothing to cry about yet. But they are third on the table and they had to struggle for that win. So let's see how it pans out for them. But first of all, let's start with the Nigerian story and what's going to happen with Nigeria at the FIFA weekend.
From the Super Eagles end, we see that Tyrone Eboyi, and Umar Sadiq have been drafted as replacement for Taiwo Agoni and Ola Aino ahead of Super Eagles international friendly games against Saudi Arabia and Mozambique.
Yes, so injuries to important guys this weekend. I was didn't see them play for Nottingham Forest. The question was, are they fit? Are they okay? But yeah, those injuries are mounting, and Nigeria is not left out of all the injuries. The good news for Nigeria is that we have players are plenty. You know, we are looking, people that are looking for call-ups, they have been waiting. One man's injuries, another man's fortune. And so we have, adequate replacement for these guys. And it's friendlies that we're going to try to see in preparation for AFCON 2024. So good one for the NFF, and good one for Nigeria having all these players in leaps and bounds. Hopefully Victor Osimhen will come to Nigeria, and that will help him turn his fortunes around for his club, because you people are wicked. Wicked people. But we'll talk about Napoli and all their struggles in the Italian Serie A. But yes, Nigeria has that sorted out.
That leaves us with time enough to connect to Qatar this morning, where Lewis Hamilton accepts blame for Qatar Grand Prix, a crash with George Russell.
All right. So first of all, let's congratulate Max Verstappen. He won his championship. As a professional broadcaster, he won his third championship. In the Qatar sprint race on Saturday. He needed to win by 6 points. By the time Sergio Perez crashed out of the race, well, Ocon took out Sergio Perez from the race. He was always going to win. So even if he didn't win the sprint, that went to Piastri, Oscar Piastri, with his first win. Max Verstappen still came in second and then won his third championship. So congratulations to him for Tega Onojiafe. Give back that 2021 championship. All right. But so congratulations to him on that note. But on the race on Sunday, now, a lot of people were like, there's nothing to look forward to. Constructors Championship is done. Drivers Championship is one and done. What are we looking forward to? But I mean, it's F1. I just love the fast cars and the competition. And there's still that, well, at the time there was still that second place open, because Sergio Perez is not far ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and it looked like that this was the weekend for Lewis Hamilton to chip at that lead a little bit more, considering that Mercedes were fast on the track, and Lewis Hamilton was placed third on the grid. So that was still a competition that was going. But both Mercedes cars started off now. They put both of them on different tires. So George Russell was on the medium tire, which would last longer but was slower than the soft tires, which I mean, may grain a little easier, and that's what Hamilton was on. So as soon as the race started, um, Hamilton had a cleaner line and he kind of went for it. But in going for it, George Russell had nowhere to go. He was blocked on the inside right by Max Verstappen, who covered the inner race line. So George Russell had to go wide. Now, in going wide, he came onto a Lewis Hamilton who was faster than him, who had gotten off the blocks quicker. Unfortunately for Lewis, both of them. Now, I tell people, if you tell a Formula One driver to give up a corner, it's like telling fish not to breathe inside water. I mean, what's the point? There's no point in
There's no point.
the reason George Russell jumped into a fast car is so that he can go. And so it was tight. So it was three cars racing each other. Lewis Hamilton had the most outer line. Now, what he would have felt to do was to go to the extreme of the lane, and then go the widest and take it round. He was already a nose ahead of George Russell. But like I said, you cannot tell a Formula One driver to give up his spots. And so because Lewis was trying to cover also the inside, he kind of blocked George Russell, and there was nowhere else for George Russell to go. Like I said, Verstappen was already on his right, and so George Russell took out his back tire, because, like I said, Lewis Hamilton was a nose ahead. So I was really mad yesterday. I was like, "Why would you do that?" But Lewis Hamilton was like, "It's my fault. I really should have gone to the extreme." And George Russell also said, "Well, I should have given up the corner." I was like, "How cute of both of you to have this wisdom now after the race." But it's a touchy one. I think, again, ultimately, Mercedes have to decide. The only time we saw Red Bull, this kind of fight in Red Bull, was when, Red Bull hadn't decided whether they were going to go with Daniel Ricciardo or they were going to go with Max Verstappen. And the minute they decided to go with Max Verstappen, nothing Daniel Ricciardo could have done, they went with Max Verstappen. And I think a lot of drivers, a lot of constructors allow their drivers to fight each other. It may be good for racing, but it's counterintuitive for the team. So if in Mercedes, you have to decide. I understand that they're struggling with the fact that Lewis Hamilton is a seven-time champion and George Russell is a younger guy. So he has more years in F1. And so that's the future. So they are pushing that future. But I think you need to decide based on what is happening in the race, who you are going to prioritize. Are you going to prioritize the guy that is ahead in the drivers' championship, or are you going to prioritize the guys that qualified ahead in the race? They need to determine that, because when they determine that, then they can know who to pass that radio message to. But as it is, you say both drivers to battle, and they've battled, and one has crashed.
And that crashing you talked about, see, it just reminds me again, there's no sport where you don't, except maybe for tennis, where they're fighting for jerseys. That's what it is now.
Yeah, you must fight. Yeah, you're fighting. I mean, you're fighting for yourself. Lewis Hamilton was seeing Sergio Perez, and it was an opportunity for him to just cut that lead further so he can finish second in the Drivers' Championship. George Russell is like, that's not my business. I want to win.
Yes.
Here. You know?
I get it. I get it. Drifting away from Qatar Grand Prix this morning, we head straight to China, where Iga Swiatek overcomes Lyudmila Samsonova for a fifth title of the year.
Oh wow, what a season it has been for Iga Swiatek. So last year, 2022, I think she's chasing her own demons, because last year was an exceptional year. She won 8 titles in that year. She was winning. She went on a 37-match winning streak. It was hard to beat Iga Swiatek. But this season it's been a little bit of a yo-yo, up and down. But at the end of the day, her season is great for anybody else. She won a Grand Slam. She's won 5 titles, including this one. So she was world number one. I mean, up until the last up until the US Open. So she's not had a bad season, but because she's had such a great season in 2022, that's what they are marking your script against, because you have to be better than what you were previously. And so people have been saying, "Oh, what a bad season it is," and she's been feeling the pressure, which is why when she won this match and she won this tournament convincingly, if I may add, she started to cry. I've not seen Iga Swiatek with so much emotion. Um, on court, almost
Yeah.
as if something was lifted off of her. First of all, I saw that emotion when she beat Coco Gauff, because Coco Gauff was on her own winning streak.
Tell me of the Coco Gauff.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Coco Gauff was not in. Coco Gauff was on her own winning streak. She had
Yes.
defeated Coco Gauff 7 times, um, and then Coco Gauff beat her and then went on this winning streak and went on to win US Open. So for her to be able to get Coco Gauff back, it was such a good one. So you could see the relief on her face. But when she got to this final, it was just another trophy, another title. I'm finally here. So it's not a bad season for her, but because of the pressure that she put on herself, and some other people put on her based on 2022, it was a tough season, but it was a great one for her so far. Congratulations. This is why you need a sports psychologist on your team. When she was down, her team lifted her up, and somehow she's managed to win this. So right now, she still has the opportunity to finish the year as world number one. Yes, she still has the opportunity if she can win in Cancun. That's the last tournament for the top 8 in the women's tour. But Sabalenka is going to be like, no,
No way.
I must finish world number one. And so that fight is what we are waiting to see what will happen in Cancun.
And it's going to make it interesting because everyone will bring in their A game.
Yeah, everybody's going to bring in their A game. They're the top ranked 8 players in the world. Let's get ready for the battle.
It's going to be feisty. We've got just roughly a minute to do this, so we'll just throw in a message.
Let's just throw in a message from this one.
Mohammed, Tega and Hamilton will explain tire. And after explanation, you go cry a river. Nothing will be given back. A controversial opinion is part of sports. Collect big L and move on.
Okay. This is AY.
AY drops this one and said, I said on Friday that Arsenal will have what it takes to go toe-to-toe with City, and I'm glad that they proved themselves and got what that deserved win. Arteta's first Premier League win over Guardiola, Man City, who more or less become a principality in English football. AY from Oniru.
All right. So on that note, we'll take a quick break. When we come back from this break, we'll be taking more of your messages and we'll be talking about the Gunners.
Yeah.
Yes, when we come back, we'll talk about the Gunners.
It's not just music, it's smooth music.
What does future forward banking mean to you? Speed, innovation, convenience, lifestyle goals, or just simply getting service that is designed just for you? Yeah, we thought you might like all of that and more. That is why we specially created Providus Bank for you to take care of your daily experiences. At Providus Bank, we believe that banking should be all about you and your business and how to get you to the next level. If you do not already have a Providus Bank account, please speak with our business concierge on 0700 77 684 387 or email businessconcierge@providusbank.com to switch to a future forward banking experience. Providus Bank. Future forward banking.
Eh?
That's why I'm a carry always. Give it up, I'm a better way. You got to buy me always.
After 3 days, if body no traga, go see Dr. Now, Shalina Healthcare Limited, them market her.
Come and buy your fresh fruits.
No, I'm not buying anything.
Buy banana.
Sweet orange. Sweet orange.
The title of Slum King is reserved only for the chosen, for no one else carries an aura worthy of its weight. Follow Maja's epic journey to power in the all-new action-packed drama Slum King, starting October 8th and showing Sundays at 8 p.m. on Africa Magic Showcase on DSTV and GoTV.
People got some cool brand, anytime when they around. If they want show him power, 3 in 1 day. To knock out power. People got pain for body, pain from fever, any kind pain they bow for evil God. That's why I'm a carry out always. If you can come and take away, you can live by me always.
After 3 days, if body no tranga, go see doctor.
Ha.
National Healthcare Limited with them market.
Oh yeah, shake
Make
it.
your payments contactless with MasterCard.
I think we're
You
back.
can tap, scan,
No,
or
we're not.
pay by
Okay.
link.
No, we just have, this is last ad going
For cash, whether it's
forever,
for
so
a
we
local
are
market
right.
run or a much-needed
Read
salon
the
visit, you can
Messages
save
and then-
on
No, no, no.
time.
What do you want?
These easy
We'll read
ways
the
are
story
instant
first and then
payments
we'll go to all
because
of it.
it's more
Okay.
than just paying. It's allowing yourself to live a moment to the fullest with ease. MasterCard is widely accepted in Nigeria with contactless payments. A convenient way to pay. Priceless.
The smooth
A little more conversation, a little more something. Hey, ba.
Listening to Smooth 98.1.
A little more conversation.
grapevine, the locker room, and more.
We're smooth 98.1 FM. It's gone 26 minutes before it's 9 o'clock, and it's still the locker room. Tega Onojiafe is still here.
Yes, all right. And so we go to the big story. I can see the messages. Let's just read the story first. So,
Arsenal makes statement with long-awaited win over Man City. That's what is breaking the significant barrier in their bid to win the Premier League after Gabriel Martinelli's late goal sealed a cathartic 1-0 victory against Man City.
all right. So, huge one for the apprentice Mikel Arteta. The young have grown. Yes, it's no longer a transportation system. It's now the story of his life. But interesting one for Arsenal yesterday. I would say this. At no point in time did Arsenal not look like they had a chance. You know, even when they were under pressure, they looked like they were trying to defend and deflect. Manchester City wasn't really making any inroads, you know, into the Arsenal through that Arsenal defense. And I will say this: I remember when Pep Guardiola was crying about the injuries he had. Kevin De Bruyne is injured. Bernardo Silva is injured. I was like, if Rodri is not injured, you're fine. You're okay.
Yes.
And then Rodri picked up a suspension. You know, his village people caught up with him. And true to type, Man City has struggled since Rodri picked up that red card. So you saw the previous game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. They also lost against Newcastle in the League Cup, and now they've lost against Arsenal. Also midweek they struggled. So you're looking at a team that needs Rodri to come back. So now, if I'm a coach and I'm facing Man City now, I just target that Rodri. Just Kolobi him, and the midfield is not going to move. And once the midfield doesn't move, once the midfield doesn't move, Haaland is not going to get he's not going to get fed, and so he's not going to score goals. Julian Alvarez may work a little harder, but if Julian Alvarez has to work that hard to score a goal against me, that I can take. But to cut off the potency of the Manchester City attack is that midfield, and it's Rodri. So it showed in the game. Also on the Arsenal side, Thomas Partey made us see why he is a better option than Jorginho. I don't know who is whispering into Mikel Arteta's ear. And that Partey has been fit since, so he has been okay. It's just, match fitness and
struggling with.
You understand? You now started Jorginho. I don't know what Mikel Arteta is thinking about, but it was at the end of the day, Arsenal came out with the results. And it was, if on the balance of play, especially the second half, you would say it was a well-deserved result because they kept going for it. So great one for Arsenal. They showed that they have the potential to win the Premier League. Now the question is, when they are under pressure and the chips are down like last season and the lion in Manchester City is chasing them down, can they keep their nerve to win match after match, 3 points after 3 points to win the title? That's the question. All right. So on that note, Arsenal fans, let's hear from you. The numbers to send your messages to are
0809 WhatsApp messages.
all right. And then you can also send on YouTube. The first, what I want to hear from you is, what are your thoughts on your team? Is this the team you are certain can do it this season and win the Premier League? All right. Again, the numbers to send your messages to are
0809 and YouTube also find us there at Smooth 981 FM Lagos.
all right. So let me start from YouTube. Elke Aderoba says, Tega. What did I tell you? All Chelsea needed was sponsor on the jersey, and now we are winning 3 games in a row. My friend, we are talking about elephant on the tree. You are talking about Chelsea. Move to the side, Jerry. I would have thought about Chelsea, but Arsenal has done a better thing. Sorry. So the team from London this week is Arsenal. Elke Aderoba. Benchi says, B says Manchester City deserved to lose that game, seeing that they should have been down to 10 men. True. Kovacic should have gotten a second yellow. It would have been funny if that ball had deflected over Kovacic. That would have just been karma. Then the coach would be like, why didn't I take him off? All right. Let's take messages from
Rebecca Onelum is here for us saying, I think Manchester City need to file a missing person report on Erling Haaland. He wasn't on the bench, neither was he on the pitch. Was he kidnapped? God of Soccer also didn't disappoint as Arsenal won despite VAR failed to send off Kovacic for his diabolic football. Next up is Chelsea at the rickety Stamford Bridge after the international break.
Okay, on that note, because it's after the international break, anything can happen because they've broken momentum. That's what I hate about all these things. Let's hear from Adeniyi.
This brings us to, it says, the result might be far bigger than the 3 points psychologically. Incredible boost. For the first time in a long time, there is a little seed of doubt in the Manchester City Football Club players. North London forever.
All right. This is Obi from Agor saying,
says Tega. Congrats. To Gunners, I will give them the EPL title if they win Chelsea in the next match.
All right. And Tayo says,
Tayo drops this one. When I saw Chelsea win their match, I thought my TV wasn't working well and they scored more than one goal. I guess they will have options to select goal of the month from.
Yes, they now have options. All right, okay, don't mind me. I'm just joking. You can send your messages for Chelsea. I'm just pulling your legs. All right, so let's take some messages and then let's take some stories and then we'll come back to the messages.
This takes us back to the bill once again. Late recovery against Brentford has to be turning point. Eric Ten Hag is the one speaking after the woeful start to the season. The manager is speaking after the result they pulled over the weekend.
All right, so huge one. A big Scot came off the bench and he dealt them a big blow and gave Manchester United all 3 points. But that was the game that you expect at the Theatre of Dreams. Unfortunately, it was against lowly Brentford. So, as great as the feeling was, when you looked at the opposition, you were like, oh, well, you should be getting these results against Brentford any day of the week and twice on Sunday. But it was a huge one, seeing that Manchester United are going through a process. And I want to say this. You see, when I look at the selection and the balance on the team, I want to, slag Eric Ten Hag. I'm like, what are you looking at? Why are you choosing these players? But at the end of the day, when you even look at the performance of the players on the pitch, you have to question, wait, Rashford, don't you have any personal ambition? You don't like striker or player of the month? You don't like that award? You don't like hat trick? You don't like to carry ball home? Because you're looking at these players and like, where is the hunger? Where is the urgency? Where is the intensity? For most of the game, the Brentford players look like they desired it more. And it's simple. You can question the coach's selection. You can question maybe even his tactics. But you people that are on the pitch, why are you blunt like this? If they were knife, we cannot use them to cut a fango. They are just horrible. That's how bad the Manchester United players were. But the big Scot came in and he had something to prove, and he scored the first goal. They said it was offside. He was like, okay, I'll rinse and repeat. Then he scored the second one. I think it was when the timing of when he scored the winner that made that game really beautiful. So ultimately, the players really need to look within themselves and just do more and be more. They don't show me that hunger. They don't show me that intensity. intensity. After a bad game, Casemiro will do better. Bruno, every once in a while remembers that he's captain, so he tries to, rally up the troops. So most in general, the rest of them are just cruising on gear one, and that's not how you play in the theater of dreams.
Okay, so it looks for now that Eric Ten Hag can keep his job at least with the result he's pulled, right?
Yeah, he can for now. For now.
For now.
Eh.
Well, it's good enough place to let the waters of the Premier League settle for a while, where we head straight to Madrid, where Bellingham strikes twice as Madrid hammer Osasuna 4-0.
Oh yeah, that one was going to be expected, but the story here is Jude Bellingham. This guy just came into Spain and settled like he's always been here. No hiccups, no struggles, and I think he took the right attitude. No, he came into a big team and look, I need to put in a big performance. If not, I'd be finished. I'd be killed. Especially after you saw what happened to Eden Hazard. You had to land first of all on your feet, and that's what he's done. And game after game, he's delivered. Scoring goals. The manager even had to push him up higher on the pitch and say, you know what? Since you're the one getting the goals, just stay in and around the area. And he's delivering.
Hit the ground running with the ball.
I kid you not. So the big story here for Real Madrid is that they had a great buy in Jude Bellingham, because he has it's not only the skill. If you look at the skill, and when you separate it, you've seen better players, but it's also the desire. That's what I'm saying about the Manchester United players. As much as you want to say Eric Ten Hag go, personal ambition you people should have. Small. So he has the right attitude. He's delivering weekend in, weekend out. So great one for Jude Bellingham. Real Madrid have won their match, and it puts them at the top of the table. But not just that. Barcelona drew their match yesterday. Now Barcelona's one paid me small, and I'll tell you why. They went 2 goals down again, and this time they started the comeback, and I was like, are they going to do this thing back to back? And it looked like they were going to do this back to back when they scored the 3rd goal in the dying minute. Then they said it was offside. I was like, but he was not really, technically, tactically interfering in play. He was just standing offside, but he was not even, but he was offside. And so they ended up with a draw. So Real Madrid are now clear at the top of the table by 3 points. So let's see how it goes in the
Looks like we can touch down on Serie A before we close proceedings this morning.
Let's just go straight to the messages. We'll talk about Napoli's problems later.
This comes in. I think we can withstand the pressure from here on, no matter what City do. We played without Saka, our best outlet, James from Lekki. And then comes the next one. Wallium comes this one. Wallium says, hey guys, I think this is what Arsenal team, this is that Arsenal team, because they are a lot mature. I think the addition of Declan Rice has added more steel to the midfielder, as well as